When Anya told Leo to get out of her sight for the umpteenth time, it finally dawned on him. He's the nasty side character in a campus love story, the guy who hangs around the heroine like a loyal puppy, getting in the way between her and Mr. Perfect right up until they got engaged. The whole crew kicked him to the curb, left in the pouring rain, crashed his car, broke his leg, you name it. Knowing all this, he freaked out and packed his bags. He raised 3 fingers to the sky and swore, "Don't worry, Anya. I'm out of here. I promise you won't see me again or have to deal with me getting in your way." "Leo, can't you have some self-respect? I'm trying to get rid of you, but you just won't leave. What's your problem?" "Wait, what did you just say?" After a pause, Anya seemed to realize something. She turned slightly, her tone changing. "What did you say? Say it again." The room got quiet real fast, and everyone was sneaking glances at them. Everyone in the elite circle knew that since they were kids, Leo always liked to stick close to Anya. Wherever she went, he'd follow. When she took up piano, he took up violin. In the classroom next door, she went to the best high school. And of course, he followed her there too. She chose science. So did he. Everyone said Leo is like Anya's little tail. They can't be separated. But once they hit high school, Anya made new friends and Leo got on her nerves. She started avoiding him. The things she said most often to him became, "Can you just leave me alone, Leo? Get some independence. I'm your girlfriend. Now can't you keep your distance?" Back then, he brushed it all off. His skin was pretty thick. He'd bounce right back the next day, happy as ever sticking around her. But now, knowing he's the nasty side character, there's nothing more crucial than surviving. Ignoring Anya's pissed-off look, he packed his things and dragged his suitcase to the hotel lobby. He shoved his phone in her face sincerely and earnestly, saying, "Look, I wasn't lying. I even booked the flight just a bit ago. Heading back to school won't bother you anymore." That vexed, ice-cold glare from her was no joke. For a moment, Anya said nothing, not until Kian, the real male lead, came over and muttered a bit, just loud enough for her to hear. Then she finally turned her head, scoffing, "Fine, remember what you said today, Leo. Get out and don't come back." Leo eagerly agreed and took off with his suitcase. By the next morning, he was back at school. His dorm mate was still asleep, peeked out from his covers, looking seriously spooked to see him. He rubbed his eyes. "Leo, weren't you supposed to be on that beach vacation with Anya? Why were you back so soon?" "Couldn't find her." Can't blame the guy for asking. Anya had planned this whole trip without telling him. She'd recently won some international math competition and threw a trip for all her close friends. Somewhere along the way, he caught wind of it, tagged along uninvited, and booked a ticket on the same flight. Tracked her down through social media. Alone showed up at her hotel. As soon as he walked in, before he could even say a word, she shut him down right at the door. "Leo, what the heck are you doing here? I didn't invite you. Are you serious right now? Can't you just roll out?" After he explained what happened, his roommate scratched his head. "So you just came back?" He was crouched down, organizing his stuff, not even glancing up yet. She was pretty darn explicit this time. "Not leaving would be pretty dense on my part, right?" His roommate gave him this puzzled look. "Are you out of your mind? How many times has she told you off? And when have you ever actually called it quits? Didn't you always say Anya's just stubborn, that she'd warm up over time?" Thinking back now, how dumb was that idea? If she was going to warm up, she'd have done it by now. Leo sighed, waved it off. "No more jokes. I'm really a changed man now. I'm keeping a serious distance from her." His roommate yawned. "I'll believe it when I see it." Moments later, he widened his eyes as Leo pulled a study abroad application for the UK off the shelf and carefully scrawled his name on it. "Mr. Jason mentioned there's an experimental project there that's perfect for me." Initially turned it down without a second thought, but now I'm game. Meanwhile, back with Anya, things got awkward real quick. When Leo arrived, they were in the hotel lobby prepping to take their bags upstairs. Someone hesitated a bit, then handed Anya a confirmed room booking. "What do you think, Anya? Should we keep Leo's room or cancel it?" Before coming here, they were debating how many rooms to book. Anya had coughed it out. "Include Leo? He's just this nagging shadow. Wherever I go, he trots along after." Pretty annoying. Now staring at the room directly across from hers, Anya just got more annoyed. The memory of Leo deliberately keeping his distance flashed through her mind like a stubborn migraine. Her hand squeezing the bottle tight. "Keep what? Didn't he say he was vanishing from my life? Let him vanish. Why care about him at all?" Everyone exchanged uncertain looks until someone saw Anya was genuinely peeved this time, stepped in quick. "Come on, chill. I bet Leo's just putting on an act. He's been pining after you for so long. Chances are he's somewhere close by waiting for you to cave in." Anya's expression softened a bit, letting a quiet scoff escape. She thought, caving? Not in a million years. Before 3 days are up, Leo will crawl back faster than you can say. Desperate. That's just him. Plus, it's peak season. Better keep that room He told his parents about his plan to go to the UK. They were surprised, but didn't object. 4 days later, he gathered all the required documents and filled out the application. He handed it over to his advisor. She seemed surprised at first, then quickly became happy. You finally figured it out, Leo. Our school has many students there. They all look out for each other. So you won't be alone. I'll sign it right now and upload it online. You should start packing. The flight is in about a week with a group from our school. His advisor is a big name in the industry and has students all over the world. Since she said this, the team's vibe must be pretty good. He nodded, slightly thinking about it, and left her office feeling a bit more excited for the near future. When he reached the building's front, he was about to catch a ride downtown to buy some necessities when someone called him. Leo, what are you doing here? He turned to see one of Anya's classmates. He was supposed to join the vacation, but had to cancel because of family matters. He scratched his nose and walked over. Leo, are you back early? I saw Anya and the others are still there diving. They seem to be having a great time, posting a lot on social media. Didn't you see it? I'm not interested in these things. He waved it off, intending to change the subject, but he showed him his phone screen. Anya never updates her life on social media, but recently she posted a lot. Every picture was of her smiling happily, sometimes adjusting her diving gear or watching the sunrise from the beach, and the guy was always beside her, laughing and joking around. In today's new post, they rented a boat to go fishing. Anya caught a big fish, turned to look at Kian, and they smiled at each other. The sunlight made that moment quite beautiful. Someone in the comments not in the know asked, who's that guy? He's handsome. Are we getting a brother-in-law? Funny how we never see Leo. Strange, huh? Mentioning him seemed uncalled for. Anya didn't reply to any comments, but highlighted this one, saying, oh him, we broke up. This poor guy hadn't seen today's new post or the comments, so Leo pointed out Anya's statement. Look, that's why I didn't go. He blushed, stammering an apology. I didn't see that, Leo, sorry. Just then his ride showed up. He waved it off, laughing as he opened the door. No, wait. Well, now you see we're done, so no need to tell me about her. I don't care. Do I really not care? He's not even sure we've known each other for so long. Seeing her casual breakup comment stung a bit. Supporting roles are just supporting roles. How could he compete with what's meant to be? He took a deep breath, pushing away the jumbled thoughts, focusing on preparing for his trip. He returned to the dorm with big bags of shopping with the essentials sorted. He started packing textbooks and journals. His roommate joined in to help. He couldn't leave because his research wasn't done halfway through. He slung an arm over his shoulder, sighing, man, I'll miss you. I didn't believe you'd move on from Anya so quick. Now you're leaving. Let her regret it. He patted his arm and shook his head. To be honest, Anya won't regret it without him. In the way she and her guy will be even more lovey-dovey. Before he could say more, he noticed the diamond bracelet he wore. How could he forget? Anya's mom gave it to him when they graduated high school. Anya and he got into the same college. Their families celebrated together. At the end of the night, her mom pulled him aside on the balcony, smiling as she clasped an exquisite bracelet onto his wrist. Keep this, Leo. We went to an auction, and Anya liked it. You'll look out for each other in college, right? The bracelet was clearly precious. He wanted to refuse, but after a few attempts, he accepted it. When he came back inside, Anya was looking at his wrist for a moment. She blushed, then frowned, coughing. Why'd my mom give you that? We just bought it for fun at the auction. Never mind. It looks good on you. Keep wearing it. This was the first and only gift from Anya. He was thrilled for days. After her parents bought a big condo in the city for her, they even left a room for him in case the dorm didn't work out. He didn't go there often, though, but he couldn't resist Anya's mom's enthusiasm, so he ended up buying some clothes and daily necessities to leave there. There are also a bunch of gifts he'd given Anya over time. Every time she said she didn't like them, then tossed them into this room. He touched the bracelet on his wrist. Now that he's leaving, it's probably time to clean up a bit. The next day, he grabbed a taxi to the apartment downtown. Anya hadn't come back, yet naturally no one was home. He still knew the door code. Anya's mom had specifically given it to him, but when he entered it, he realized Anya had changed it at some point. He frowned, trying several more. His birthday, Anya's birthday. He even checked the school directory for Kian's birthday, but no luck, nothing worked, so he decided to call Anya. She didn't answer after several tries. Just when he was about to lose patience, her laid-back voice came through the phone. Leo, why the call? Weren't you the one who said you'd never show up in front of me again, and now you can't even wait for a while? She laughed, as if relaxing after some heavy thoughts. You said you were into diving, right? Why don't you just come over? I see some rooms available at the hotel. If you want, I can talk to the front desk to hold one for you. He took a deep breath and quickly interrupted her. No, Anya, don't hold a room for me. I wasn't planning to come. I'm in front of your place on Jinhuang Road right now. Can you tell me the code? I need to get inside for something. There was silence for a moment, then a clicking sound like Anya lighting a cigarette. So she's smoking again. He's told her countless times how much he hates that smell, but it never seems to register with her. In a cold tone, Anya asked what for. There's not much in your room, right? Just some clothes. What? You preparing to pack up and run abroad? His heart skipped a beat. He didn't want Anya to find out about his exchange program abroad just yet before leaving. He just wanted to quietly finish what he needed to do without unnecessary drama. So he sighed and made up an excuse, denied her. Isn't New Year's Eve next week? I got you a gift, wanted to put it in the house for a surprise. Every year on New Year's Eve, Anya and he have been together, sometimes with their families, sometimes with friends, but no matter what, when the clock struck midnight, they faced each other. Not this year. His advisor contacted him. His application for the exchange program abroad has been approved. He's leaving exactly then, so at midnight this year, he'll probably be with the other exchange students sitting on a plane the next moment, like letting her guard down. Anya chuckled and gave him the apartment. Code 0904. You didn't guess that? How dumb. It's the day we headed to college together, the start of college. He was a bit surprised, but didn't think too deeply about it. After hanging up, he took off the bracelet from his wrist and placed it in a red velvet box, positioning it where it would be noticed as soon as you walked in. Then he organized his stuff from the room. Anya was right. He didn't have much luggage, just some clothes. A small suitcase could hold it all. But what she didn't know was, apart from those, what he really wanted to take was something else. Opening the drawer under the desk at the far end lay an envelope. Inside was a long sheet of paper. It's a list he writes every year of all the future things he wants to do with Anya: attend a massive concert, go bungee jumping, scuba diving, see the auroras, travel the world, climb snowy mountains. So many things. Whenever Anya was in a good mood, he would casually bring up some plans. Inside, carefully, my thesis is nearly done. The advisor says we don't need to be in the lab all break. I recently saw a short diving video. Looks fun. Do you want to try? Anya didn't reply, too busy typing away on her phone, chatting with someone. A while later, she looked up, briefly glanced at him. What did you say? Didn't catch that. Kian wants me. Let's talk next time. But over a month later, finals passed. Anya's math competition results came out. To celebrate, she did book a flight to Hainan. He thought it was because of what he said that day, excitedly waiting and waiting until her plane took off with friends. He realized he'd never been invited this trip. Folks thought Anya wasn't her usual upbeat self. Even though she brought up diving, she seemed uninterested, skipping most activities, sitting alone by the beach, phone in hand, like waiting for someone's message. Someone thought she had school matters and asked if she'd like to head back early. She just shook her head. Only when Leo, whom she often complained about, called did Anya perk up. After the call, she stretched with a big smile at the ocean. I knew he wouldn't last long. Turns out it's a New Year's gift. How lame. Turning to her friends, we had planned to celebrate New Year's on the island and fly back the next day, right? Why not change up the plan? Hold a party at my place instead. Oh, and Leo hates smoke, so you guys don't light up. The plane landed on the last day of the year. When Anya finally drove into downtown, it was almost evening. Standing outside the door, she suddenly felt her heart racing. A jumbled mess of thoughts swirled around in her head. Mysterious. Why did it need to be set up so early? She placed one hand on the door and the other into her coat pocket. Inside was a gift she had brought back from Hainan. Taking a deep breath, she tried to calm herself down. This was her first time being away from Leo for such a long time, and she wasn't quite used to it. He should be inside the room by now, probably not in the best mood since he didn't go diving. She thought about comforting him with a few words and then giving him the gift. Hopefully he'll be carefree and happy like before. While she was lost in thought, her friends started cheering from behind. Open the door. Anya, didn't you say you'd take us to your place for New Year's? Leo's here, right? Haven't seen him in ages. Of course, Anya replied. Leo's been preparing a surprise gift these days. Anya could almost feel her smile breaking out. With a brief pause, she entered the code, and the door swung open. What's all the noise? Be quiet, everyone. Inside, the apartment was empty. Even with 6 or 7 people entering a huge place like this, it still felt vast and vacant. They all stood there stunned. Where's Leo? Weren't we supposed to celebrate New Year's together? Where'd he go? Someone asked. Maybe he just stepped out. Anya said nothing and ignored everyone as she frowned tightly, opening door after door, but no one was there. Where did Leo go? He had promised. Just as her mood had lifted, it dropped back down. Anya picked up her phone, ready to call, when one of her close roommates ran in from the living room, holding a red velvet box. Anya, check this out. Isn't this a gift from Leo? It was sitting right in the middle of the coffee table with your name on it. It's a beautifully wrapped box with a sticky note on top, 3 lines of little text. Anya, take this, wishing you everything you desire, wishing me a future That's free Leo. Anya let out a sigh of relief and smiled a little. Took him this long, just for this so dramatic. She peeled the sticky note off, slipping it into her pocket carefully. She opened the box and froze with just a glance. It was a bracelet, one she had picked out herself back in the summer after graduation. She had quietly watched from behind a door as her mom had put it on Leo's wrist. So pretty and such a good fit for him. She thought he'd wear it forever, but it's only been a few years, and he's left it behind. A wave of panic suddenly washed over her. Anya lowered her head and found Leo's chat box. Making an audio call instantly, a red exclamation mark popped up. The other party has added you to the blacklist. What a stunning diamond bracelet, someone commented nearby, but why is it for men? Is it that Leo gave this to Anya for Kian? Anya whipped around, pushing the person away. Her eyes were turning red, lips pressed tightly. Her whole emotion seemed crushed, and she was trembling slightly. Shut up, you're talking nonsense. She borrowed another friend's phone to call Leo again. Same result, can't get through. She tried another and another, all with the same outcome. It seemed like Leo had blocked her entire group of friends in one swoop. Kian came over and gently held her wrist, speaking softly. Anya, chill, okay? Leo's got his own stuff going on. If he's not here, we can still celebrate the new year together, right? Anya pulled her hand back. For the first time, she felt a sense of resistance to Kian's touch. How can it be the same? Not 1,000 or 10,000 people could compare to having Leo at the stroke of midnight. They had never been apart. She stepped back, her brow furrowing deeply as she scrolled through her phone, wanting to ask someone if they knew where he was now. Suddenly, a notification from her school popped up. Announcement of students from our school selected for overseas exchange programs. She clicked in and immediately saw that familiar name. Our group of students going to the UK includes 5 people. One of them was someone she knew from way back, an elementary classmate. She was shocked. She had changed so much back in elementary school. She was short and chubby, always in a thick down jacket trailing behind her. She'd asked the most childish questions. Leo, how do you do division vertically? What's a multiple? Can you explain it to me? I couldn't figure out the essay topic. I want to see yours. In 5th grade, she transferred to another city. I heard her parents were leading a national scientific research project, heading off to complete some super secret task in the wilderness. They lost touch until now. Someone called her name from behind. Leo, long time no see. She turned slowly. After 10 years, that little girl who clung to her backpack, asking her to wait for her, had grown up. She wore a dark gray coat and looked nearly 6 feet tall. She took off her mask and revealed a face as striking as any celebrities Irene remember. Happy New Year, Leo. He was in theoretical physics. Irene was in applied mathematics. Their buildings were just across a tree-lined path. Yet for 3 years, not once did they cross paths. Luckily, we both signed up for this exchange program. When I saw the acceptance list, I immediately went to check with your department. And it really is you, Irene said. She actually tried to find me before. Back in high school, her parents' project was nearly done, and she finally got the chance to travel out of town, so she took a train back to our old place. We were just kids when we parted ways. No phones, no cell phones. The chance of meeting again super slim, but she was persistent. She went back to our elementary school, asked the class teacher about my middle school, then my high school. She waited at the school gates hoping to catch me after class, but she didn't find me. Instead, she ran into Anya. Anya was leaving the court through the side gate, heading to the snack shop for a drink. She turned around, and her eyes locked on Irene. She stopped in her tracks. You look familiar. You're not from our school. Who were you looking for? With a bite on her lip, she had this intense, sharp look. I think I recognize you. You're that kid from 2nd grade who transferred away, right? He was surprised. Anya remembered Irene. She was in 4th grade, not even in the same class as them. He didn't think she'd have any impression, but Irene shook her head. Now back in elementary, didn't you guys walk to and from school together a lot? I kept asking you questions from behind, and she'd glare at me like I was taking something from her. She must have remembered me from then. Irene hesitated. I asked her if you were still at school that day. She told me you all moved away and wouldn't be coming back. She looked into his eyes. I found out from other classmates about your graduating high school. You didn't move away, did you? If it weren't for Anya pulling that stunt, maybe Irene and he would have crossed paths sooner. Why did she do that? It's just baffling. They chatted all the way through boarding the plane, then met up with other classmates. Everyone was seated close enough to look out for each other during the trip. The other travelers, even though they were academic hotshots from various departments, turned out to be unexpectedly cool. They all shared snacks and talked about the papers and projects they were working on. That's how they spent the flight for over 10 hours wrapped in a blanket. He looked out at the shifting clouds and Remembered what his mentor said about studying abroad. Maybe he should get out more. The world out there is pretty open, and bright seniors from their lab came to the airport to pick them up. They were super welcoming. They helped carry their luggage back to the dorms from them. He learned the school, even set up a special account to promote their project, but it only listed names, no specific exchange schools, which was nice. Before he boarded the plane, he had deleted Anya and her crew from his contacts. After last time, when he stood her up on New Year's, he had decided to cut ties with that clique, so he wasn't looking forward to them knowing where he was. Honestly, Anya probably wouldn't even care. The past few weeks have been pretty peaceful. He attends classes, reads, and then does some experiments. Irene and he have overlapping research interests. They often hit the library together, exchanging recent papers and conference materials. Sometimes she'd bring her laptop over. She'd type away while watching him work with the experimental equipment. When the building closed, they'd stroll back to the dorms together. Life started having this comforting routine. Occasionally, some distant classmates would call late at night. They pretend to catch up, but were low-key fishing for info on where he was, what institute he was at, and who was around him. They were never close, only connected because of courses. Now they'd ring up, probably at someone else's bidding. He mostly ignored them, throwing out a few vague words. Eventually those calls stopped. He thought everything had blown over until recently, after finishing an experiment and having lunch with Irene. This strange number called. It was Anya in her time zone. It should have been late night. Leo, weren't we supposed to spend New Year's together? Her voice was raspy, like she'd had a lot to drink. A bit disoriented. I waited for you all night, looked for you everywhere. Leo, you just left me a bracelet. You telling me you want nothing to do with me? Are you just gonna throw me away? There were others in the background. Her friends were vying for the phone, making sure he could hear. Leo, when are you coming back? Why did you fight with Anya and block us too? I miss your chocolate cake. Anya's been drinking, calling your name. It's been tough on us. Where are you studying? We'll fly out to see you. He remembered the original storyline of the novel. He woke up and in it her friends didn't like him no matter how hard he tried, gifting, cooking treats, learning their interests. Nothing worked. They adored Kian. Later, Anya dated Kian. They were scared he'd tell her folks and tricked him into a secluded house, locking him up. That day, Leo had a fever and felt horribly ill, struggling to breathe, nearly passing out. No phone to get to the hospital. He climbed out a window, but a passing car skidded and wham! Crushed his leg. Even if he hadn't gone through those scenes as written, even if it was just a Leo from a parallel world, someone totally unrelated to him, he still felt sick reading those words and listening to Anya's friends. His fingers clenched tighter. He didn't say a word and hung up the phone. Irene noticed the sour look on his face and glanced over at him. What's up? She asked. He gritted his teeth and snorted. Anya, that jinx. He hissed. She was a bit taken aback and then smiled slightly. She's definitely going to find you, Leo. No matter what, I'm on your side, she reassured him, and Irene was right. Anya did show up. All along he'd been chasing after her, but this time it seemed different. She stood at the lab's door in a lightweight coat and scarf, obviously dressed up, but her paleness and gloomy demeanor gave away what was really going on. Her eyes looked bruised underneath, like she hadn't slept well, and she looked way thinner. Leo, she smiled lightly, raising her arm to show off a few big bags. My mom asked me to bring these to you. She's been busy at home, making all sorts of food. Lately, beef jerky, cake rolls, snowflake snacks, grilled sausages. I tried them, and they're pretty good. She insisted I bring some over. Anya could be annoying, but her mom was different. She had been good to him since they were kids. When his parents were busy with work, they'd leave him at Anya's house. She had a room full of toys and discs, and she always let him play with her stuff. Sometimes he'd argue with Anya, and her mom would take his side. Leo is a boy. Why is a girl like you fighting him? She'd say. Leo has such a good temper, and you still manage to argue with him. He guessed they knew he'd never go against her mom. Anya even called her to smooth things over. Her mom didn't seem to know they had a fight. She thought Anya was just visiting him abroad for fun. Leo, I heard you went on an exchange. I haven't seen your parents lately. Anya told me our business is mainly in the country. Anya might not get to travel abroad often, so please show her around. She said. Before he could even respond, Anya took back the phone. Hey mom, don't worry, she said. He rolled his eyes in frustration. Really, he was ticked off. To finish the task, he sped up and started showing her around campus. This is the library, the cafeteria, the gym, the art hall. Anya carried a load in her arms after a long flight. She was clearly jet-lagged and tired. She followed him with effort, visibly wobbling, but keeping up, trying to make conversation. She said, this place is beautiful, Leo. Even though he repeatedly told her to return to the hotel and rest, she shook her head. I'm not tired, really, it's okay. Truth is, she was a world apart from who she used to be back. Then she teased him about being her little shadow, hard to shake off. He was getting annoyed and didn't want to drag this on. He stopped, turned to her coldly, and threw her own words right back at her. Anya, can you have some self-respect? Can't you see I'm trying to ask you to leave? Why do you keep tagging along like a shadow? Her face fell, turning grayish, her lips quivered, fingers clenching and unclenching just as he thought it was over, and walked away. She rushed to grab his wrist. Don't go, Leo. Don't go, listen to me. Anya's voice trembled, using all her strength. I'm sorry while you were away. I thought a lot. I know. I messed up. I'm stubborn. Care about saving face. Don't respect others. And often gave you the cold shoulder. I'm horrible. But can you not give me a death sentence yet? Just give me another chance, please. She pulled out a velvet box from her coat pocket. When he looked down, he recognized it as the one with the bracelet. He had returned it, even had a note attached. Anya took a deep breath, trying to smile. You left this at New Year's with the note. I read it often. May you achieve your desires, and may I find freedom ahead. But Leo, the first like you. If the old Anya had said that, he'd have been over the moon, but now it was different. Leo has grown to, seen more of the world, and met more people. That small world he lived in doesn't contain him anymore. He slowly pulled his hand away and shook his head. No, Anya, you've got it wrong. I wrote it because I thought you and Kian were perfect together. Plus, I just got an email from the lab here with an offer for research and work. I might stay here longer. Maybe not returning for a few years, just like I said before. Let's cut ties. Anya has to take over her family's company after graduation. Her family has some unique business restrictions. They can't set up branches overseas, and most of the higher-ups have to report their trips abroad each year. So when he finally made this decision, it meant cutting all ties with Anya. She looked at him deeply, almost like her energy was drained. Slumping a little, she nervously explained, Kian and I have nothing going on. I was just looking after him because he's new in town with no relatives here, but why should I care? He turned away, shrugged his shoulders. I appreciate your mom's feelings, Anya. You don't have to explain. I don't even like you. Goodbye. Immediately after, he glanced over at someone just walking on the path beside the trees. A girl was carrying a stack of papers, probably just left the library. Wondering how much she heard. Why didn't she greet me earlier? He said, I don't like Anya. Did you hear me? Irene's ears turned red. So what's your type? He poked her dimple. Take a guess. Epilogue. Before midnight, Anya sent everyone home. She searched every corner of the room, looking for any trace of Leo left behind. She found nothing until she saw shredded paper in the trash can in the corner. For some reason, she felt it must be from him. So, she spent the whole night piecing those paper bits together, eventually reassembling a list of things Leo wanted to do with her. The first thing on the list was to go diving. Anya probably didn't remember, but back when our families went for an outdoor trip, he had fallen into a reservoir. The adults were too busy preparing lunch by the RV to notice him, and Anya jumped in and saved him. She was his lifesaver. He had to stick close to her and also learn swimming to let her see he wouldn't be such trouble next time. Anya stared blankly at those sentences. She didn't know Leo wanted to dive because of that incident. She thought it was just a random suggestion. Felt like she couldn't breathe. Suddenly feeling overwhelmed, she squatted down, picked up her phone, and opened that article on the school's public account again. And there she unexpectedly saw Irene's name. Irene, someone she really couldn't stand. Anya couldn't quite explain why. Maybe it was since elementary school that little girl would always follow Leo around, chattering constantly like a little tail. He finally switched schools to get away, but still had to come back looking for him, now reuniting with Leo. In this way, Anya felt a sudden panic. She unconsciously thought about it during his time abroad. Would Leo develop feelings for Irene? Would he forget about her? Would he stop forgiving her? Turns out Leo really moved on from her. The house code was still 0904. It was supposed to be for the first day of school, but it was actually the day they both first flew together alone. Anya never changed the code. She couldn't say if she was waiting for Leo to come back, but he never returned to this home. After graduating, she joined the family business, getting involved in the operations, and lost the chance to ever reach out to him again. Over those years, she felt herself growing dull and numb. Even those friends drifted away. A lot of them relied on their family businesses, and after losing their support, faced a decline, falling downhill. Some came from spoiled background and took dangerous paths to maintain their lavish lifestyle, only to end up behind bars. Some were used as pawns by their families, traded off to rivals to buy time, facing even worse fates, and others just sank into oblivion after their companies went bankrupt, living day by day without hope. As for Kian, he married a woman 14 years his senior, wealthy but reckless. I heard he didn't mind her lifestyle, but Anya didn't care about any of it. She focused only on work, and in her spare time, she picked tasks from Leo's shredded list to complete on her own, like going to a concert alone, or skydiving, even bungee jumping. When she saw news of Leo and Irene's engagement in the alumni group chat, Anya was on a snow mountain. She kept looking at their photos, zooming in and out a million times until her eyes and chest ached. Still, she couldn't figure it out. How did things get to this point? The snow fell hard that day. The wind howled. Someone rushed by, and she heard staff shouting about an avalanche warning, urging everyone to evacuate immediately. She got up, then sat back down. Forget it, she thought. Let the story end here. Anya closed her eyes as the snow collapsed thunderously. She stretched out her arms, pretending to embrace the Leo from years ago, who once had eyes only for her.